So let's solve this question. As you can see, this question came in the year 2017, and on that year IIT Roorkee they organized the GATE examination. Anyway, let's come to the question. So you can see here it's a C programming given and they are asking for the output. So this question is solely based on the recursion concept. Okay. So here you can see that two functions are there and each function is calling other functions. Okay. So let me solve this. So here you can see what's written here, the output printed when fun1 is the name of the function, when fun1 of 5 is called as. Okay, so let's solve it. And also you can see that some options are not clearly visible, but don't worry, that's not required. Okay, so let's solve it. So fun1, here the parameter that is passed is 5. Okay, so let me write here fun1 and 5. Fine. So fun1 function is getting called here. Okay, so it is calling fun of 1. Okay, and here int n, it means what? N is a local variable which is receiving the value 5. Fine. So here I will write 5. So let me write here the fun1 is getting called. So let me write here n is equal to 5. Okay, it is a local variable whose address is 100. Let me write it clearly. N is a local variable. I am talking about this n whose address is 100. Okay, and it has received a copy of 5. Fine. If n equal to 0, no, then this condition is false. So now come to next line, print 5. So what will happen? So 5 will get printed. Okay, so here 5 is getting printed. So dotted, I am representing dotted line as, it means what? Here 5 will get printed. Fine. And after that fun2 has been called. So now fun of 2 is getting called, fun of 2 with n minus 2 value. So what is the value of n? 5. So 5 minus 2, 3. Okay, so now fun2 has been called here. So with a new local variable that is n. So it will have separate, it will have different address from this n, because this n and this n both are different. Okay, so this, so n, and it is receiving the value 3 and its address is 200. Okay, so this n is for function 2, this n is for function 1. So I am writing correspondingly. Okay, so now what's there in fun2? Int if n equal to 0, no, printf n. So n will be printed. So what is the value of n for function 2? 3. So 3 will be printed. Okay, now fun1. Now fun1 is getting called here. Fun1. Fine. And so what is the parameter? Plus of n. It means what? Whatever the value of n, it will be incremented. So the value of n is 3, so it will get incremented to 4. So here 3 will become 4. Okay, so I am roughing this and it will become 4. You see here 3 has been passed, but pre-increment of 3 has been passed. So 3 will get incremented to 4. Okay, so I am writing it as 4. Fine. And now fun1 has been called. So what is the local variable for fun1? N. So new n, say its address is 300 with 4. So now n, this n is different from this n and this n. Okay, so n is equal to 4. So the local variable for fun1 is n is equal to 4. Okay. Now, is n equal to 0? 4 equal to 0? No. So print n. So this n will be printed. So 4 will be printed. Fine. So now another line, fun2 n minus 2. So now fun2 will be called. So what is n minus 2? N minus 2 is, so what is n? 4. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay. So don't write 2 here, because the value of n is not getting changed. We are subtracting 2 from n, but it doesn't mean the value of n will be changed. Okay. Whatever the value of n was there, it will remain as it is. It will not get changed. But in case of pre-increment, the value will get changed. Like this. Here initially it was 3. Okay. But due to this plus pre-increment operator, it became 4. But here pre-increment or pre-decrement, anything such like that is not happening here. Here whatever the value of n is there, something is getting subtracted from the value of n. Okay, it doesn't mean that the value of n will change. So here 4 will remain as it is. Okay. So now fun2. Fine. So now let's come to here. So fun2. So the local variable for fun2 is what? N. And let's give it address as 400. Okay. And this n receives the value 2. Fine. So now, if n equal to 0, 2 equal to 0, obviously no, then print the value of n, that is 2 here. Here 2 will be printed. Okay. Now fun1 plus n. So it will call fun1. Fine. So fun1 will be called. So with what value? With plus n. It means what? Whatever the value of n is, it will get incremented. Okay. So n will become 3 here. So 2 will become 3. So I am making it as 3. Okay. I am roughing this. So it became 3. Fine. Okay. So now again fun1 function is called here. Okay. So now a local variable for fun1 will be n, and let's give it and the address is 500. Okay. And the value is copied here, 3 has been copied here. So now if 3 equal to 0, no, so printf n. So n will get printed here. What is the value of n? 3 got printed. Fine. So now fun2 is called again here, fun2. Okay. So with n minus 2. So what is the value of 3? That the value of what is the value of n? The value of n is 3. So now 3 minus 2, that is 1. 3 minus 2, 1. So the parameter will be 1 here. Okay. And now for fun2, the local variable is 3. The local variable is 1. Okay. 1. And the address is let's say 600. Okay. So now again 1 equal to 0, no, printf 1. So 1 will get printed. Printf n, the value of n is 1, so 1 will get printed. And again fun1 2. Fine. So now fun1 has been called here with plus n. Plus n means what? Whatever function 2 received the whatever this n received the value, it will get incremented. So it became 2. Fine. So now these 2 will be here. And also for fun1, a new local variable will be there with address 700 and its value is 2. Okay. Now for fun1 2, n equal to 0. N means what? 2 equal to 0? No. So printf n. So 2 will be printed. Now fun2 n minus 2. Fun2 n minus 2. N minus 2 means what? Whatever the value of 2, just subtract 2 from it. Yes. So it will become n minus 2 means what? 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 will become 0. Okay. And also a new local variable for fun2 will contain 0 with address 800. Okay. So don't worry about this address part. I am just writing it for your convention. You can write any other address also, like 1000, 2000, 3000. It doesn't matter. Okay. Fine. Fun2 of 0. Fine. Now in function 2 you see the value of n is 0, 0. And now if n equal to 0, yes, because the value of n is 0, 0 equal to 0, yes, it's a true statement, then return. So now this statement will not get executed because we are returning from here. So here we will return. Fine. So return to where? Return to the calling function. So which function is calling? Fun2. It means what? Fun2 will be returned to where? Fun1. Okay. So because fun1 was calling fun2. Okay. And now fun2 is stopped. Okay, because this condition is true. Fine. And now the value will be returned here. So now return to the calling function. So fun2 will return to fun1 because fun1 was calling fun2. So it will return to fun1. Fine. So it has returned to fun1. So in the fun1 part you can see that we executed till this line. We executed this line number 1, this line, this condition checking was there. Fine. Then after that in the function 1, in fun1 we did printf, we executed this line, and after that we executed this line. The only thing was remaining was this line, this printf. You can see here in fun1 what we were doing. We were just printing the value. Okay. Initially we were checking the condition. After that we were printing the value, and after that we were calling function 2. And after that we didn't execute this line, but now we will execute this line because now the returning part will happen. Okay. So since this fun2 is already executed, this line is executed already, it has completed its execution. So since this line has been executed, so now this line will execute printf %dn. Okay. So here printf will happen. So %dn. So what is the value of n here? The value of n is what? The value of n for function 1 is 2. Here you can see the value of n for function 1 is 2. Fine. So now this line has been executed, so this part is over. Okay. So this part is over. Fine. And now since this part is over, so now let's go back to function 2 because this thing, you see here, this thing has already executed. This thing has already executed. So let's go back to function 2. And in function 2, we have executed till here. Fun1 plus n. You can see here, we have checked the condition. After that, we printed something. After that, we called function 1 with pre-increment operator. Okay. So we executed till here. Okay. So what is left here? The last printf statement is left here. Okay, so for function 2, this printf will be executed like this, and printf n. So what is the value of n for function 2? The value of n for function 2 is 2. Okay, not 1, because after executing this line plus plus n, the value of n got incremented by 1, so it became 2. So here I will write here 2. Fine. Okay. So now you see this function 2 is also over. So till now, yes. So this function 2 is also over. So till now, what are the values that have been printed? 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let me write here. 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, then again 2, then again 2 here. Okay. So up to this part we are done. Okay. So let me rub this in order to avoid any confusion. Let me rub this. It means what? We have completed up to this part. Fine. So now you see this function has been executed. So just rub this. So after execution of this fun2, this line is remaining. After execution of this fun2, this line is remaining. So now what value will be printed here? So what is the value of n for fun1? It is 3. Okay. So here 3 will be printed. Fine. So let me write here 3. Okay. So now this is completely over. Okay. Let me rub this. So now this fun1 is over. Okay. So function 2 called this fun1. So before that function 2 printed this 2. Function 2 executed the printf statement by which 2 got printed. After that function 2 executed this function 1. Okay. So what is remaining here? This statement is remaining. Okay. So printf n. So what is the value of n for function 2? For function 2 the value of n is 3. Okay. For function 2 the value of n is 3. You see I have written the value of n correspondingly with the function. Okay. For function 2 this n, for function 1 this n, for function 2 this n, for function 1 this n, like this. Okay. So now what value will get printed? The value that is 3 will get printed. 3. Okay. So this part is also over. So now function 2's task is over here. So which function called function 2? Function 1 called function 2. Okay. And before calling function 2, function 1 executed this printf statement. You see function 1 executed this printf statement by which 4 got printed. Fine. And after that function 1 called this function 2. Okay. And since function 2 is over, now function 1 will execute this printf statement. So what? N will be printed. So what is the value of n for function 1? The value of n for function 1 is what? 4. Okay, the value of n for function 1 is 4. Okay, is 4. Just see this n, 4. So here I will write 4. Okay. So now this part is over. Okay. Just remove this. So now you see this function 1 is over. So function 2 which function called this function 1? Function 2 called this function 1. Okay. So now before calling function 2, function 1, function 2 executed this print statement, that is you can see here, through which 3 got printed, and after that function 2 executed this function 1. This is function 1. This function 1 has already completed, and now this printf statement is left to be executed by function 2. Okay, so function 2 will execute the printf statement, printf n. So what is the value of n for function 2 now? 4. So here now 4 will get printed. Okay, so this part is also over. Fine. So let me rub this. So now you see function 1, yes, so function 2 is over. So which function called function 2? Function 1 called function 2. So you see before calling function 2, function 1 executed this printf statement through which 5 got printed. Okay, this 5 got printed. After that function 1 called function 2. Okay, and since function 2 is already executed, so now which statement is left for function 1? This printf statement is left for function 1. So now n will get printed. So what is the value of n for function 1? This 5. So let me write here 5. So function 1 is also over. So everything is over. So the value of fun 1. So after execution of this fun 1, this is the output. You can see here 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 222, 3, 4, 4, 5. So which option is getting matched? Option A. So option A is the correct option. Fine. So I hope you understood it properly. Okay. So let's move to the next question. Thank you.